Hello and welcome everyone to Class 4, the Higher States of Consciousness. I'm so happy to see all of you again. Welcome back. My name is Jo Lowe and I am honored to be one of the certified Chopra health instructors based in South Africa. So let me just give you an overview of what we have discussed in our previous classes. So we had the introduction to primordial sound meditation, which was our class 1. In class 2, we spoke about the personal mantra instructions. In class 3, we spoke about perfecting the practice. So today I will be discussing in class 4 the introduction to the higher states of consciousness. Now, anyone who is meditating or not can have glimpses of higher states of consciousness. It's not really determined by whether you are meditating or not. But as we continue with our meditation practice, these experiences start to grow and they can start to accelerate the process. So when we talk about the practical aspects of how to meditate, even when to do it and all of those lovely things, we also want to give you now a vision of future possibilities. So in today's class, I will talk about the introduction, and there are 7 different states of consciousness recognized in the Vedic tradition, and how you can begin to unfold them fully in your daily life through regular meditation. Now, the content of today's class may feel challenging, but you don't have to immediately understand everything I say in order to experience these levels of consciousness. They will unfold naturally through regular meditation. So everything in creation is evolving, right? This is the nature of life. So some things appear to be moving slowly and others much faster. But now that you are practicing meditation, you have started to accelerate the process of higher states of consciousness. So each of these 7 different levels of consciousness has its own psychological functioning and quality of experience. And some of these you may have experienced daily in your life, some you may have only had glimpses of, and others may be completely something new to you. And today I will give you a good overall understanding of these different levels of consciousness, helping you to recognize the different experiences as they appear in your own life. So with primordial sound meditation, which is very complete as you know, we don't only offer the knowledge, but we also offer the experience. And we give you these steps, which are the steps to enlightenment. Now, the knowledge and understanding and direct experience is very important, as knowledge and experience go hand in hand. Knowledge without direct experience is merely just an intellectual exercise. And experience, on the other hand, without adequate understanding, can sometimes just create a lot of confusion and doubt. Now that you are cultivating a regular meditation practice, you are having new experiences, and today you will gain the knowledge to go along with them, basically giving you a blend of both knowledge and experience. Now, although we refer to these higher states of consciousness, they are really our true state of consciousness, our birthright. What most people experience in their daily lives and what society accepts as normal is just a fraction of what we are actually capable of experiencing. So as I've mentioned before, there are the 7 different stages of consciousness, and the levels that you experience every day is obviously the waking state, your deep sleep state, and then the dream state for some. Now, others you may have glimpses of, and others may be completely new to you. So we also have the transcendence consciousness, which is also known as Atma Darshan. We have the cosmic consciousness, the divine consciousness, and then lastly, the unity consciousness, known as Brahman. But in our next session, we will go into detail of each of these different states of consciousness. But for today, what I think is most important, firstly, is to realize and to be clear on exactly what consciousness is. So there are many people who argue about how to define consciousness. But let's just settle on what we think here in the community of spiritual beings as consciousness. So when I say consciousness, the word awareness, the word spirit, the word soul, They're all kind of the same entity, right? Now, we are conscious beings, and right now you are having an experience, which is watching me and listening to my voice, because you are a conscious being. So, to wrap it up and to put it into a short version, consciousness is awareness. It's the spirit and the soul. Consciousness is the source of all the experience, including our thoughts, our memories, our perceptions, our sensations. And consciousness is that in which experience occurs. Consciousness is also that in which experience is known. And consciousness is that in which all experience is made. To go deeper and to explain it in more detail, our consciousness can expand from constricted states to higher states. So since consciousness is the basis of all experience, as we move into these higher levels of consciousness, all of our experiences change. Now this includes our thoughts, our emotions, our perceptions of the world. Even our biology also changes, because our physical body is only a modified form of consciousness. Now all experiences are space-time events. Everything you perceive with your senses has a location in space and in existence in time. This is even true for our thoughts and our emotions. Now the experiencer, the one who is having the experience, is beyond space and time. All experiences are local and limited, but the one who is having the experience, the soul, the real you, is non-local and beyond limitations. So when we slip into the space between thoughts, which we all know as the gap, this is when we also step into the non-local, the pure awareness, the unlimited possibilities. We meet the experiencer, the soul. This is the awareness of not anything in particular, but everything in general, or the pure potential, the unlimited potential. Experiences constantly change, yet the experiencer is beyond the field of change. You are not your thoughts, you are not your body, and you're also not your mind. So when the mind and body are filled with stress and fatigue, memories and desires, our lives become a distorted picture of spirit. The true reality, when through meditation we release all of these stresses, the fatigues and the toxins from our mind and body, our spirit shines fully through in our lives. Just like the sun is always shining, even on a rainy day, we just need to remove the clouds. Therefore, we can start with a very simple definition, and that is consciousness is the source of all experience. Consciousness is the source of all mental experiences, which means our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our intentions, our insights, our intuition, imagination, creativity, images on the screen of consciousness. This is all mental experiences. But then consciousness is also responsible for what we all call perceptual experiences. You have the experience of sound, you have the experience of texture, taste, smell, or we have the experience of form. We can see color, we can see a chair, we can see our own bodies. Now all this experiences happens in consciousness. So let's agree that consciousness is the source of all experiences. We can also go a bit beyond that. Consciousness is also that in which experience is happening all the time, in which experience occurs. It's that in which experience is known. So you know that you are having the experience. Not only that you're having the experience, but that you have the knowingness of having the experience. Sounds crazy, right? And finally, and this is what most people don't understand fully, but hopefully we will as we explore all the realms of consciousness, is that consciousness is that out of which all experiences are made of. You might say, well, what do you mean? Well, a thought is made out of consciousness. An emotion is made out of consciousness. And when I say made out of, I mean it's a modified form of consciousness. It's an excitation of consciousness, or we can say it's a modulation of consciousness. So a thought is a modified form of consciousness. An emotion is a modified form of consciousness. an image in your mind is a modified form of consciousness, but so is what we call the physical world and our physical bodies. It's a modified form of consciousness. And why do I say that? Well, what is the experience of touch? It's an experience, right? Texture, even that is a modified form of consciousness. Because without consciousness, there is no experience of touch. There's no experience of sound, there's no experience of form, there's no experience of color, there's no experience of taste or even smell. So in closing, what we call reality is different in all the different stages of consciousness. I thank you so much for joining my class today, and I look forward to seeing you in my next class. I would like to close off with a beautiful saying by Rumi. Consciousness sleeps in minerals, it dreams in the plants, it wakes in animals, and it has the potential to become self-aware in humans. Namaste.